The essence of this meeting is to get to know ourselves. For our members to know you, to know not you as an individual, know the agency, know what you do according to our law, and see the areas of collaboration that we can all think about.
As the chairman and members may be aware, the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission is one of the 14 executive commissions in the Constitution under Section 153 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The constitutional responsibility for the Commission is to handle the issue of revenue mobilization, as the name entails. The Constitution empowered the Commission to perform the following mandates under paragraph 32A to B of Part 1 of the third schedule of the 1999 Constitution as amended, and also the Rampart Act, Cap R7 2004. Number 1, or A, is to monitor the approvals to and disbursement of revenue from the Federation account, and then review from time to time revenue allocation formula and principles in operation to ensure conformity to changing realities, provided any formula which has been accepted by an act of the National Assembly shall remain in force for a period of not less than 5 years from the date of the commencement of the act. Advise the federal and state governments of fiscal efficiency and methods by which their revenue can be increased. Determine the remuneration appropriate for political office holders, including the president, vice president, governors, deputy governors, ministers, special advisors, legislators, and holders of the office mentioned in Section 84 and 124 of the Constitution, that's the judiciary. Discharge such other functions as are conferred on the Commission by the Constitution or Act of the National Assembly. In addition to the above, the Act of the Commission also empowered the Commission to demand and obtain regular and relevant information from any agency of government, but specifically some were mentioned. NNPC, of course, we know there is a new nomenclature, Central Bank of Nigeria, Ministry of Finance, Federal Revenue, Nigerian Customs Service, and Ministry of Finance. In mobilizing revenue, all revenues into the Federation account as defined by Section 162(10) of the 1999 Constitution as amended is defined as any income or return accruing to or derived by the government of the Federation from any source, and includes any receipt, however described, arising from the operation of any law. Any return, however described, arising from or in respect of any property held by the government of the Federation, any return by way of interest on loans and dividends in respect of shares or interest held by the government of the Federation in any company or statutory body. Honorable members, you are fully aware that the Commission has been in existence since 1989 through various decrees and then now the Constitution. I will talk about the challenges that the Commission is facing now, but I will not describe that now. I will discuss what we have been able to do over the years in the areas of revenue, unremitted funds. By the year 2016, the Commission recovered 14 billion. That's for a period between 2008 and 2012. These are revenues that are remitted by various agencies. We have to sometimes engage some experts, forensic experts, to go and look and see and establish, and this thing is recovered to the treasury. Between 2012 to 2015, in 2018, we also recovered.
No, you said 2008 to 2000, we recovered after.
14 billion. That was in 2016. And between 2012 to 2015, we recovered 60 billion 981. That was in 2018. Last year,
2012 to 2018.
yes, 2012 to 2015.
16?
Yeah, 2015.
2015 or 2018?
2015, but the recovery was done in 2018.
The payment
Yes,
was in
2018, yes.
So that payment over 2012 to 2015?
Yes. And then, that was 60 billion 981 million. Then 2016 to 2019, we recovered over 312 billion. This was recovered last year, 2022. And those recently, yeah, 2016 to 2019, we recovered 312 billion. And just last month, there was a recovery of 98 billion from the NNPC, which had also gone into treasury.
2023.
Yes, 2023, yes. And there is a component of USD 21 million, which was in 2021. That's 21 million 489 US dollars. That was between 2016 and 2019. This has to do with one of the oil companies. The above recoveries was achieved through efforts of consortium of forensic experts and consultants engaged by the Commission following the NEC and presidential approval as mentioned above. Other liabilities recovered by the Commission also include 79 billion 102 million 457,202 was recovered from the federal and state ministries and departments and agencies and local government council. The period is from 2008 to 2010 for 8 selected states. We are currently now engaging about 17 states to look into their withholding tax and VAT, whether they have remitted. So we are going around, the exercise is not complete, but from what I'm getting, a little bit of briefs, there are states that owe as much as about 30 billion. There are states that don't owe nothing, so that exercise is still going. And then a sum of 474 million and 199 million as excise duties was recovered from 2 companies from the Southwest for periods January 2020 to December 2021, and also 2022. This, in fact, the CG of Customs had to write a commendation letter to the committee members that did this exercise because that money was remitted. Other achievements of the Commission. Before 2011, revenue or royalties and fees from solid minerals were remitted to the Consolidated Revenue Funds. With the intensive Commission's efforts, the solid mineral component of the Federation account was opened in 2011 November, and that resulted into states, local governments benefiting 13% derivatives, and whatever is received is shared appropriately according to the formula for sharing. We've also, there has been a stable growth, but up to now, that solid mineral revenue is really almost like below 1% of the total revenue that Nigeria generates. So this sector really is something that I believe the present administration will focus on, and the legislator also will find a way to see how this sector can generate more revenue for the federation. And then the commission also secured an approval of Mr. President for a 10% monthly payment from the Natural Resources Development Fund. The Natural Resource Development Fund is I'm sure you are all aware, it's part of the special funds. 1.68% is deducted every month and kept aside. So the Solid Minerals Development Fund wanted some seed money so that they can continue to do their own activities. And we recommended that they should be given 10% monthly payment for a certain period, and then to see how they can really bring that sector to a level whereby everyone will be satisfied. So that is still ongoing, and it's out of this NRDF that the former president approved 30 billion naira to then Minister of Solid Minerals to do some studies on data on how to make the sector attractive for investors outside of Nigeria to come into Nigeria and start investing. And I think this is yielding some results, because we just seen that Nasarawa State has signed with a company to exploit lithium, which is one of the hottest commodities in the world today. In the area of revenue allocation formula, what the formula we are using now is from the Mobilisation Act, from the military era to Obasanjo's first term to the various laws that was enacted, because there was a lawsuit where the Supreme Court ruled that any money, according to the Constitution, has to be shared between federal, states, and local government. So therefore, all the deductions are somewhat rendered illegal. So as a result of that, the president then decided to meet with the stakeholders, and they decided to issue a notification order, which is the formula which is in operation now. You are fully aware that FCT would not have been funded without that particular modification order. Now, out of the 52.something% of the federal share, we have the special funds. 0.5% goes to stabilization, 1.68 natural resources, FCT 1%, ecological fund 1%. Now we had a lot of agitation from sub-nationals for that formula to be reviewed. 2 years ago, we embarked on the exercise, and we completed that exercise. Our report was ready. We presented to the then president. After we presented that report, Mr. President said he was taking the outcome of the review of the Constitution by the National Assembly. In other words, to see a clear definition what sector is responsible, what tier of government is responsible for what, that's exclusive list and concurrent list. And so he was not going to transmit that report to the National Assembly at that time. But we were all aware that that constitutional amendment was concluded at the tail end of the last administration. So that report had not been transmitted to you. So what we are going to do now, the same committee, we asked them to continue working. We asked them to contact the Office of the Accountant General to look at the new constitutional amendments, the additions, what the states are supposed to do, what the federal government is supposed to do, and then to look at it and make it in line with what we have done. If there is any amendments, so we are going to review it maybe sometimes within the middle of next year, and we will forward it to Mr. President, because it's a prevailing sentiment by the subnationals and everybody that the revenue allocation formula should be reviewed. But in the interim, the commission, that is the vertical revenue allocation formula. But there is also another component, which is the horizontal. Horizontal, how much that is going to states, how is it going to be shared among the states? We have indices that we consider like land, hospital enrollment, number of hospital beds, government hospitals, schools, and other factors. So now the commission has started the process of reviewing that, and we hope that before the middle of next year, we are going to do it, because that has not been done since the states, some of the states were created. We have additional states, we have additional local governments. So we are working on that. And then on the salaries remuneration of political office holders, judicial, and governors, etc., head of agencies. That's a very contentious issue. Now, we all know the prevailing climate in the nation. We have also done that, but the last administration did not have enough time to transmit to the National Assembly, but we decided not to represent it to the present administration now because of the prevailing climate in the country. We will allow Mr. President and his team to do some palliatives, take care of other worker salary, take care of all the agitations. I'm sure you are all seeing the Minister of Labor and Chief of Staff that are looking at that. But we understand. So after tempers have come down, the economy has improved, we have also told the Commission to be looking at it. When the climate is right, the Commission will present this report to you, the stakeholders, and to Mr. President, because it's the right thing. And then some of you must have seen me on the TV taking a hit. The perception of Nigerians that especially legislators are paid jumbo salary, and I said that as far as we are concerned, there is no jumbo salary anywhere. The salary of the legislator is, you all know it, the salary of the president is below 1.5 million, the salary of the governor is like that, talk less of judge of the Supreme Court and others. So we as a commission, when the climate is right, we will revisit that particular issue. Now, one of the, there are areas also that we feel that a new source of revenue for the Federation can be exploited, one of which is the solid minerals that I mentioned. That's the essence of setting up the special fund, 1.68% every month is set aside for that. So the states that have a program that they want to do, whether it's related to agriculture, whether it's related to solid mineral, or related to tourism, they can write to the Commission. Based on our recommendation, we recommend to the President, if it's a viable project, they have to send you some money, and then at the end of it, something is approved for them to do that. But what has happened over the years, this 1.68% for quite a while is the federal government that has been taking this money. States are not benefiting. So as a result of that, over 700 and something billion naira was spent on that. And some of you will tell you it's long when you look at it. So because of that, the Commission decided and said, what do we do now? So we wrote to Mr. President and said, okay, this amount of money that the federal government took for that particular purpose, if it's not in line with what the law says, that amount should be a loan, and states, federal government can guarantee them like promissory notes against that amount that was deducted out of the fund, and Mr. President approved. So we are now working with the new Minister of Finance, the coordinating Minister of the Economy, to see how this thing can be implemented so that states can benefit in utilization of these funds. There is also the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry, according to experts and PwC and others, they believe that Nigerian entertainment industry is capable of increasing revenue to the Federation to the tune of 7.14 billion over a period of 5 years or 3 years from now. So that is one area that the Commission is trying to work out modalities how we can encourage stakeholders to really exploit this sector so that more revenue can be generated for the entire Federation. This, I think, it will come in, and you are the ones who make laws, who can harmonize the relevant laws and see where, how this can be done. And then the maritime industry. We are glad that as a commission, the President has decided to appoint a minister specifically for that. That is also one area that has the potential for a lot of economic activities, which was untapped before. And we believe that with the collaboration with relevant agencies, these areas can be identified: satellite technology, monitoring system, and other things. Bunker levy, revenue from midstream operations, trade facilitation, and even the aviation sector. We have not yet fully exploited the aviation sector, and we believe that the new leadership will try as much as possible. We are there as a commission. We will always support anything that can get more revenue for the entire federation, so that this thing can be shared appropriately. Now, we have a challenge as a commission. The commission, as you are all aware, is a federation commission. But unfortunately, over the years, there's only one tier of government that has been funding the commission through this system, envelope system of budgeting, whereby every year a certain amount is assigned to the commission. You have 331 offices and zonal offices across Nigeria with staff, but the overhead that we get sometimes is 344 million a year. So really, I encourage members to come for a visit and see the condition of the commission. I need technology.
We will discuss that at the budget session.
Okay. So, and we have also written to Mr. President and the stakeholders on the need to review our act. Our act had not been reviewed since 2004. It was done the last 9th assembly. It went to between the transition of the former president and the new president. Many bills were not signed, so they were returned. And I'm happy and glad that this 10th assembly is taking the issue again. I think it went through first reading, so I will encourage each and every member here to support the commission. We don't have any enforcement powers. Even when we have seen infraction or money that is established that's supposed to be for the federation, if the agency head refuses to, the only thing we can do is to inform the FCC, which we are doing now with MASA. After agreeing that they owe about 63 billion, they decided now to renege, and they say, oh, they agreed to that entire. So we handed over the case to the FCC. So if that if the commission will be new act will be given some enforcement power, so that could really greatly assist us. And we also need to have some money independent of the Federal Ministry of Finance. That means the responsibility of funding the commission should come from the states local government and the federal government. We have made our proposal. We wrote to the former president. I also was privileged to see the new president, the current president, and he asked me specifically, have you informed the governors? I said yes. The former president referred us to National Economic Council for a presentation. The former vice president stated that it was too late because we had just about a month to leave as 17 new governors were attending. So now we are waiting to the vice president and the president, and they will give us an opportunity. What we are asking is for a fraction of non-oil federation revenue to come to the commission. If that comes, it will free us from the shackles of federal government. We will be more independent.
Non-oil what?
Non-oil federation revenue.
Right?
Non-oil federation revenue. Yeah, which.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your presentation. There are one or two things that I took out of what you presented, particularly as it relates to the recoveries being made by the Commission over time. I think what I've observed is that there's a kind of gap between the Commission and the committee. We do revenue monitoring sessions where we have engagement with most of these revenue generating agencies, and these are information. What you just fill out now are information that we look out for in the exercise. You talk about something billion naira resting with Masa. These are information that if you're relating closely with the committee, we should have at our fingertips, and we have this constitutional responsibility to make sure that these remittances are done as a rendering. When you give us this timely information, I assure you, the way they will respond to you will be different from the way they will respond to us. We can authorize their accounts to be blocked when they are proven difficult. So I think we need to work closely with the committee.